Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hey guys, how you going? Oh my goodness, forgot to turn the camera on. I'm having all sorts of problems this morning. How you all going, guys? Who have we got here? Out to lunch? John Paul, David, Alex, Beckham, Dealey, how you going? Starchild, how you going? Carl, how you going? Cynthia, how you going? Luna, how you going? Who else have we got in here? MJ, how you going? Dealey, David, I think I've said half it. George, how you going, George? There's a different name. Menacing Muskrat, another different name. How you going? Faith. Who else have we got? Okay, so, oh my God, a lot's happening, okay? Hey Fred, how you going? Okay, what we've got is we've got Alison Mack is out of jail. Does anyone remember Alison Mack from NXIVM? The co-founder of the White House was outside the Situation Room. Oh dear, and a lot more. But anyway, I turn another year older on Monday. It feels like 10 years. Is anyone else like feeling they're aging quicker than they should be right now? Like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders? And that's kind of how it feels when you're awake. How you going, Kat? Deb? Who else we got? Shannon, I already said hello, I think. Okay, let's get into some news. Oh my goodness. Okay, Phil, One People, One Nation, Vote No, said, how can someone who's not of Aboriginal descent be an Uluru Statement signatory? And I Say Toad said, all Australians need to watch this. We're at a turning point in Australia's history. This is Thomas Mayo, a leading architect of The Voice and signatory to the Uluru Statement. We must stop it before it's too late because he's not actually Australian.
The people who stand with me on this stage, I regard as giants.
Thomas Mayo.
Thomas Mayo written a handbook called the Voice to Parliament Handbook. All the detail you need.
Thomas Mayo is a signatory to the Uluru Statement from the Heart, but was also entrusted with the physical document.
Mayo is part of the referendum working group. He
spent 18 months travelling around Australia to garner support for an Indigenous voice to Parliament.
And I tell you what, we are sick of governments not listening to our voice. We are going to use the rule book of the nation to force them.
There is nothing more powerful
then building a First Nations voice, a black institution, a black political force to be reckoned with.
Keep going until we change the system, until we tear down the institutions that harm our people.
And also to pay respects to the elders of the Communist Party, who I think, without a doubt, have played a very important role in our activism. You know, this is the first step. It's a vital step. Pay the rent, for example. You know, how do we do that in a way that is transparent and that it actually sees reparations and compensation to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people?
The power in the voice is that it creates the ability for First Nations to go forth with coherent positions on what legislation needs to be created, what legislation needs to be amended, and punish politicians that ignore our advice.
I think I've played it before, but it stands to, like, I really need to repeat myself with a lot of Australians, that seriously, this guy is a communist, an admitted communist. He admitted it himself. And he's not Australian. He's not Aboriginal. So why is he writing books on The Voice and a signatory to the Uluru Statement? And where's the money going that's already going to them? They get billions a year. Senator Babbitt said, unfortunately, I have some distressing news to share with you today. The Albanese government have released an exposure draft of their Combating Misinformation and Disinformation Bill, which resembles 1984-style Ministry of Truth. Of course it does. We know what it does. It just stops normal people from speaking, but anyone who is on the government side is fine. They want to shut up the no voice people. Bradley Kellett said, gender equality in Labor seems to be giving us incompetent women. Gallagher shown to be a liar, O'Neill told off and told to delete childish tweets, and Bernie totally out of her depth and waiting for a voice to tell her what to do. Seriously, we deserve better. Hello Possum says, well, blow me down. The cladding on 67 buildings in Melbourne are a fire risk. And now the architects and master builders say it should never have been used. So who signed off on the material and allowed it to be used? The silence is deafening. Sorry, I've got a message from my daughter. The kids are coming today. So, okay. So 67 buildings in Melbourne are a fire risk. Anything to do with cheap materials they're getting from China? Because Dan loves China. Daniel Andrews runs Victoria, Melbourne. Yeah, the whole area pretty much. Wise Squirrel said the UN has given Japan the go-ahead to dump treated radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. They claim if the water is slowly released into the ocean, it will have a negligible radiological impact to people and the environment. International response. South Korea has started hoarding sea salt, and China says if the Japanese side is bent on going its own way, it must bear all consequences. What are your thoughts? The UN approves Japan's... What's the UN there for? Oh, the UN's coming undone itself. Roller said, deranged satanic globalists telling you about heart and soul. That shit crazy, seriously deranged man. Okay, listen to this.
With your soul,
which he doesn't have,
and with your heart,
which he also doesn't have.
With your soul, to really address the issues with a longer term vision, and with your heart, to feel passionate about what we are doing, passionate about our engagement for humanity.
I think he's confusing passion with psychopathy, to be honest. Because he doesn't have a heart and soul. He's a psychopath. Is he dressed like that? Oh, it's just... Why do my messages click twice? Like, they light up twice. Just to make sure you got it, maybe? John Cardillo said MAGA voters are not MAGA cultists. MAGA voters are great patriotic Americans who will vote for the eventual GOP nominee. MAGA cultists are a small insignificant fringe group of weirdos who claim to represent the MAGA movement, but in reality they do not. I'm all for reform and all these, like the guy said he wants to take, you know, take over the government pretty much. I'm for reforming the government, so there's a very limited amount of government, but not completely. You need police. At the moment, the way things are, you still need government. Jack Pozo said last year Jen Psaki said Russia using cluster bombs was a war crime. Today the Biden admin is sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. What the hell? Oh my God. This is obviously a question. Thanks, Jen. There are reports of illegal cluster bombs and vacuum bombs being used by the Russian. If that's true, what is the next step of this administration? Is there a red line for how much violence will be tolerated? Ms. Psaki said, it would be. I don't have any confirmation of that. We've seen the reports. If that were true, it would potentially be a war crime. They're going to commit one themselves. Elon Musk said phones are not safe. Zero Hedge said French cops can now secretly activate phone cameras, microphones and GPS to spy on citizens. I have a feeling they've been able to do that for a while. How about you? Sarah Game MLC said, I want an office for men and a minister for men. Well, there's an office for women, so why not? Meet the One Nation star pushing a minister for men like there is for women, as she makes very compelling arguments for why they are disadvantaged in society. And they are. And it's not just straight white men anymore, it's any straight man. Any masculine man is a threat to them. Because they're not masculine. The people that are doing all this are not masculine at all. Otherwise they wouldn't be hiding. Stacey Wallen said 85,000 kids trafficked by the Biden admin. Not going to stop about this. The trafficking has to stop. Okay, let's listen to this guy. Because he gets right into it.
Your current system has 85,000 kids they can't find. What in the world? It's the New York Times. It's not Fox News. And we're sitting here talking about a fiction of saying there's an infant rolling through somewhere outside of Eagle Pass right now, begging to claim asylum. The infant is not doing that. This is absurd. You know it's absurd. We have language here put forward in good faith, trying to figure out how to stop what I see in this chart behind me, where unaccompanied children are spiking through the roof, have been doing so since Democrats have been in charge of the administration. The only blip is when you had a Republican in charge. You had kids on top of train cars getting abused by cartels. You got numbers spiking through the roof since President Biden has been in office. And all we want to simply do is say, we want to get them home to their families. We want to get them to the place where they can go to a port of entry so we can take care of them. And we're being traded by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle with where are the 1,000 that aren't being reunified? Well, go find the 85,000 that we don't even know where the hell they are under the Biden administration. I yield back.
85,000 people or children? Sounds to me like it's children. I don't know. Will said the CIA was running an organisation called the Finders. Do you remember the Finders? Does anyone remember them? That kidnapped children from daycares, locked them in cages on a farm in Virginia, as is alleged, suspected them to satanic ritual abuse, had them participate in blood rituals and the sacrifice of other children, and then sold them as slaves overseas. The FBI discovered this during an investigation. What did they do? They covered it up. This is why it feels like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders when you're awake. You know all this. You want everyone to know all this. Ah, dear. Illuminati bots said we've spent billions of dollars to set up solar farms. Now they're talking about spending billions of dollars to block out the sun. That's a special kind of stupid. They spent billions on solar farms. Look at, all those ugly ones ugly everywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. They are ugly, right? along with everything else they seem to be building these days. And they're also spending billions to block out the sun, so those solar panels won't work. Sour Patch Lids said Pornhub would rather shut down outright in Virginia than verify the ages of people using it. Imagine how much money they're sacrificing to make a point. Checks notes, the actual age of consent. Laugh my ass off. Tell me more about how porn is great and harmless and cool and how age verification is a bad idea. It's not. Look, porn's really bad for society. I'm telling you now. It really is. I don't care what you do in your own house, but I just believe it's bad for society. The Australian said Peter Dutton has proposed converting old coal-fired power sites into locations for small-scale nuclear plants as part of the Coalition's future energy plan. Look, you mentioned Peter Dutton, this guy's name. He was an ex-copper, and I believe a good one. You mention his name to the mainstream media, the left, they go berserk. The same as Scott Morrison, actually. If you name him, they go berserk on it. It's all his fault, it's all his fault. Rosetta Diaz said reality, just consider. Linda Burney and Ken Wyatt, MP, both of them. Oh, this one's an AM. As Ministers for Indigenous Affairs have presided in the last 14 years, in the 14 years combined in that role over the distribution to Aboriginal entities and groups, $490 billion. Yes, $500 billion with not one positive outcome. Where has the money gone for sake? What a joke. I agree. They're just trying to get more out of people. Like, come on. You need to fix the system first before you add more to it. You can't add more to it. It would be enough if they did it right. And that shouldn't even take that much. Jim Ferguson said Dutch Prime Minister Mark... Okay. Rutte's? I don't know. Coalition government collapsed after just a year and a half in office. Please let it happen to our government. In a row over measures to curb the flow of migrants, local media said WF 2030 agenda is now under attack by people who are waking up. WEF devotee Rutte has fallen. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm going to pronounce it like that. I'm so sorry. Censored Men said, anyone else feel like this guy is going to be at the centre of a massive scandal at some point? Yes, Stephen King, I do believe he will be. I believe he is an evil man. I also believe that a lot of the stories he has done are other people's work idea. Because I've been watching the 1960s Twilight Zone. And some of the stories that Stephen King has done has been kind of done before. Anyway, let's not worry about that. General Mike Flynn, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Apparently, allegedly. General Mike Flynn said nothing to see here. Seriously, you have to ask yourself why. Why hold this meeting and with this group? Does the Pope understand what message is being sent by holding a meeting with the devils you know? I don't know what biblical precedents are being set here, but it's becoming more and more apparent which side of the valley this man stands on. Shouldn't he be canonising saints instead of patronising sinners? In response to Diane Montagna, just in, George Soros' son Alex Soros, pictured right, joins former US President Bill Clinton today in meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican, residence of Santa Marta. Pope met Francis Wednesday, Vatican News, with former US President Bill Clinton, who's a known frequent flyer to Epstein Island, with a delegation at the Pope's residence at the Casa Santa Marta. This is the Antichrist we were warned about. Oh dear. Someone said that, not me. Someone commented that. Illuminati bots said there's nothing more offensive than billionaires flying private jets to a remote Swiss village, dining on Wagyu fillets and the world's finest wines, while telling you to turn down your thermostat, stay within 20 miles of your home and eat insects for dinner. Hypocritical? They're evil. Janine said, so my daughter's in Brunswick East had a effed human threatening to kill her, and this is in Australia, and smash her front door in. She called 000 at 2 p.m. and hid under the bed, watching him on security camera for an hour until he left. No police came. It was a 000 call, which is our emergency here, like 911 is in the US and 999 in the UK or something like that. Yeah, they didn't turn up. The police are not turning up. They're not going to help you. You've got to help yourself. That's why I said if anyone comes to my home, I'm throwing everything I've got at them. Actually, maybe throw's not a good idea. Hitting them with anything I've got. Because when you throw it, they can pick it up and use it against you, so you've got to be careful. Dom LeCrae, breaker of narratives, said, do you know the Simon Cowell story? Does anyone else know about this, Simon Cowell? Yeah, and someone in the comments asked if it was the same little girl that was with, hang on, where are we? Is it the same little girl that, why does that girl's face look familiar? Is it the same girl with Obama and George Clooney? On the boat? Someone said, I think you're onto something. Who knows? I think it'll be a different little one. You know, they do kidnap more than one. Brad Jemmons said, here are the bombshell truths I know. 1. 80% of senior doctors in Australia are unjabbed. The most powerful medical person in Australia is unjabbed, as too is his family. The most powerful person in Australia is jabbed and currently dying from it. Who's dying from it? 4. Senior doctors, including jabbed doctors, have formed class action to sue the federal government. 5. It was a medical team in Melbourne who first tested the Droxy and the Iva, and they informed Mr. T, President Trump. Number 6, there is a weapon based in Antarctica that could shoot asteroids. What? Where'd that one come from? Okay. So there you go. Wow. Didn't expect that last little sentence there. In Antarctica, they've got a weapon that can shoot asteroids. Travis said, Justin, Hunter Biden's plea deal that gives him a slap on the wrist could be delayed as Republicans call for the judge to throw out the deal entirely after it was alleged AG Merrick Garland lied to the Senate about the investigation. The Heritage Foundation submitted an FOIA request in March for communication records related to US Attorney David Weiss and other DOJ officials, but the DOJ has refused to provide them. AG Garland told the Senate that attorneys had free rein to prosecute any way they see fit, but whistleblowers have claimed the DOJ blocked prosecution for major crimes. Will the Biden crime family finally be held accountable? They need to be held accountable. Whether they will or not is a different no. I think they will in the end. It's going through back channels. We're not hearing about these court cases and they're being taken. You know, the mainstream media are not going to tell us anything. Rakshan Fernando said, so let me get this straight. Instagram added the ability for text threads, but made it into a separate app and created a pathway for Instagram users to access the new app that borrows heavily from Twitter, what the data scraping was about the other day. And are now celebrating some of their existing user base now making text thread posts. Twitter's been doing that for a long time. So what happened was Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, made a new app, scraped Twitter for it, trying to imitate Twitter, where they can censor people. And they're all celebrating it. It's backfired because Mark Zuckerberg is now being taken to court by Elon Musk for copying, you know what I mean. DC Drano said the Ukrainian counter-offensive is so poorly that Joe Biden is now planning to send over cluster bombs to Ukraine. Yes, a weapon banned by treaty in over 100 countries is now being sent by the US to exacerbate a potential World War III. I lived in Geneva in the summer of 2008 doing academic research in the UN and other NGOs as countries were debating how to ban CBs. These cheap yet deadly bombs indiscriminately deploy tennis ball-sized explosives over a wide range of terrain. The problem is they have a high failure rate and leave behind explosive ordnance that blows off the legs of farmers and the arms of children who naively play with them after conflicts have ended. Just as there is an international treaty to ban landmines because of their high civilian casualties, the world came together to do the same for CBs. I sat in and watched as over 100 countries debated the merits but ultimately agreed to ban them. The biggest country to not ban them? The United States of America. Now you know why. Dollars. Dollar signs. Not the B, which means this is not the B and it's serious. Fears of serial killer in Chicago as police recover 16 bodies from local waterways in just 18 months. What's going on in Chicago? Sounds like a hunting ground for something. Crime in Chicago is bad, everyone knows this, but for most part it's pretty predictable crime. Gangs, drugs, turf wars, petty squabbles. One FBI agent, however, thinks something more sinister might be in play now in Chi-Town. A man who's been missing nearly a week was pulled from the Chicago River Sunday, becoming the 16th person found in the Windy City's waterways in the past year and a half. The disturbing pattern of people turning up in both the Chicago River and Lake Michigan have led a former FBI agent, and I'm glad they said former because I don't trust the FBI, and hopefully he is an honest former FBI agent, to suggest there may be a serial killer on the loose. Now, to be fair, many of these deaths has been ruled as non-homicides, at least by the judgment of investigators. They say, oh, this is what they always say. Cause drowning, cause unavailable, cause unavailable, cause unavailable. Cause drowning, cause suicide, cause undetermined. Cause drowning, cause accidental drowning, cause accidental drowning, cause accidental drowning, cause suicide, cause drowning, cause pending, cause pending. Cops and detectives, of course, get these things wrong sometimes. A lot. Former FBI agent Tracy Wilder says there's too many coincidences to dismiss the serial killer theory out of hand. In a case like this, there are so many similar patterns right across the board, so it's not just a coincidence anymore. She added, citing how far the bodies have been recovered from where they were reported missing and cases of accidental drownings. Serial killers were more prevalent in earlier decades, but advances in criminology and detection technology have whittled their numbers down, with Northeastern University noting that those tech developments made it difficult for serial killers, let alone anyone involved in violent crime, to stay out of prison. Chicago has led the nation in homicides for nearly a dozen years, recording over 600 killings the last year alone. Wow, the last year its homicides dropped beneath 400 was in 1965. Oh, Chicago. Isn't that a Democrat-run city? That's why they're having trouble. Cue the Bubbles said, primary water, we are taking back the narrative. Well, have a listen to this.
So a lot of people were asking me for examples of primary water because they were never taught it. Reason being is our educational system was taken over by the Rockefellers in the 1900s, and then the media was taken over by Operation Mockingbird in the 1960s. So both systems do not teach about primary water, which is right here. This is the combination of hydrogen and oxygen coming in from inside the earth at a volcanic pressure to create brand new water, living water. Water that does not contain fluoride, that does not contain arsenic, that does not have pharmaceuticals or drugs or anything inside of it. It's pure. And that's why back in the day when they were going into mines and they were trying to mine, for example, copper or gold or silver, whatever it may be, these mines would actually flood out. They would have to get pumps to try to pump out the water because the water was just coming in through the walls because there is so much water underneath us. But the media will always try to put the fear that we are running out of water. They start putting all this drought stuff and that we're running out of water. And then now, because we are running out of water, supposedly because we are supposedly using it all up, they're trying to usher in, for example, water police, water taxes, and all these water basically restrictions so that you can't grow your own food, you can't water your lawn, you can't wash your car. So it's important to be aware of primary water, the water you have never been taught about, at the primarywaterinstitute.org, so that you can remove the fear and never live in the fear that we are actually running out of water.
Isn't that fascinating? All those little bubbles.
So a lot of people are asking me.
Okay, the Robinette report said breaking, Roseanne Barr sitting in for Alex Jones. It's going to blow people's minds when they find out how evil they are. I saw that the devil has turned in his resignation when he saw what these people do, and he's like, I'm out of the devil business. Here's more.
Bring it the way God...
Oh, for goodness sake, Twitter, come on.
Bring it the way God wants you to, which they thought, well, that'll never happen. Or they're doing it the way evil wants you to do it. And they thought, well, that'll be easier. And that's what they do. And that's what they still do. That's why they worship a goat and an owl, because they think, well, through evil we're going to bring utopia, because they can't do it the right way, and they don't want to do it the right way, and they sink lower and lower and lower into degradation, so low that it's going to blow people's minds when they find out how evil they are. And they are so evil. I mean, I said that the devil has turned in his resignation when he saw what these people do, and he's like, I'm out of the devil business once I see what these people are up to. And I think that it's going to be exposed. Bring it the way God wants.
I wanted to hear the rest of that. I think it was going to be exposed. From today's Alex Jones show, I've already retweeted it. There you go. Okay, Tom Fitton said, so this is now the third leak of yet another location where the coke was actually found. The Biden cleanup operation has now moved the coke from the Oval Office level to downstairs, just like magic. When was this? July the 7th? That was... Okay.
Kelly, the big change is where this was found. And it was found, by my observation, in a much more secure place, limited access place than that West Wing reception area. It's still a frequently trafficked place.
Wasn't it a library? Now she's saying reception or something?
But it's down near the Situation Room, right off West Executive, down below. And normal people, average people, just can't get in there, even with the entry from the Northwest Gate.
Well, let me bring you up to date with the reporting that I have. What we have learned is that there are, in fact, two West Wing entrances. You know that, I know that, but for the benefit of our audience. And now the investigation has progressed, and so they're saying the West Executive entrance, which, as you noted, is closer to the Situation Room and closer to the Navy Mess, where there's the facilities for food and so forth. It is also next to West Executive Drive. That's where, for example, the vice president's vehicle is parked.
All I hear is excuses. Dr. Eli David said Steven Spielberg is a climate activist. Fun fact, his super yacht emits more carbon in a single trip than your car in your entire lifetime. Outspoken climate activist Steven Spielberg has taken delivery of his $250 million super yacht, even longer than a football field. The diesel-powered 4,444-ton vessel has 2 swimming pools and, in all possibility, a plush movie theatre and a helipad. Steven Spielberg is not a good guy. In fact, he is one of the worst, I believe. With children, Jack Pozo said breaking Biden admin gives wife of DC US attorney all access pass to White House. Fatima Goss-Graves. Wife of DC US attorney given all access pass to the White House. How is that possible? Leading reports said breaking the Bidens are heading towards serious felony convictions, according to a report. Daisy Mays said, does anyone know the extended branches on Brooke's ancestry tree? Indigenous Today host Brooke Boney delivers a blunt message to no voters and reveals what she really thinks of Aboriginal people who have opposed the voice. It won't be nice. They're now saying she's Aboriginal. She's as much Aboriginal as this guy over here is, who's not Aboriginal at all. Clandestine said 21 to 30 of June, Ukraine ramped up the rhetoric that Russia plans to sabotage ZNPP. July the 1st to 4th, massive external scraping on Twitter caused Elon to limit user views. July 6, Ukraine claims threat of ZNPP sabotage is no more. I think Western intelligence were using AI to scrape social media to gauge public perception of the ZNPP Ukraine to see if the public were buying their Russian sabotage psyop. What they found was the public logically pieced together that Ukraine deep state are the ones who benefit from the potential sabotage, as their goal is to convince NATO to take over the war and drag the US directly into conflict with Russia. Because the counter-offensive was a catastrophe and military failed. Nobody was buying Zelensky's claim. Even the IAEA went out of their way to tell us these claims of Russian planned explosive were unverified. I think Western intelligence saw that the public were not buying their PSYOP attempt, and AI judged that they couldn't successfully pull it off because the data they scraped showed the public were too keen to their plot. Thus, Budanov claiming the threat has magically disappeared. In other words, I think public awareness might have just prevented Chernobyl 2.0. Regardless of if this is what actually happened or not, one thing is for certain. Citizen journalists are dominating in the information war right now. We are taking Western propaganda and dismantling it in quick succession. The enemy have lost their stranglehold on the narrative and thus public perception. We are winning. Let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Elijah Schaefer said, this is human trafficking. CBS said, this is the moment Ben and his husband Aaron met their daughter Charlotte for the first time. Oh, I can't even. They've just taken a baby that's just been delivered. Sorry, but look, I'm against this because I believe if you really want a baby that badly, you go and mate with someone to have a baby, or you arrange it with some, I don't know, lesbian couple. I don't know. But you do not take someone else's. This is so... That's sad. Denise said, wait, am I reading this right? Is Trump saying what I think he's saying? Okay, well, this is what he said. Where are the White House security tapes? Videos. Be everywhere. Like the ones I openly and happily gave to deranged Jack Smith, which will quickly show where the coke in the White House came from. They already know the answer, but probably don't like it. And they don't want to tell anyone. Baron of Burleigh said another Aboriginal money hole. Carl Woon keep popping up across the Gold Coast, renting prime retail space, and with annual funding of $20 million. Why are we setting up separate support systems for Aboriginals? Aren't whitefellow systems good enough? No, they want to change everything, pull it all down. Okay, this is interesting. This lady went off on a plane. And she said that the person she was sitting next to was not human. And she was freaking out. And there's a lot of theories on this lady right now. People are believing her. People think that she was sitting next to a reptilian. I don't know. But the Flat Earthers said perhaps there's more to the story than the official narrative. Ooh. See how 2 fingers are down and 2 fingers are up, right? 2 fingers are down, 2 fingers are up. I don't know. What do you think? They do messages, you know that. I don't know. Or is this to try and make the right look bad by saying we all believe in reptilians? I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. That's why we're not a cult, because some people, we all believe different things. DC Drano said, here's the longer video. Another video has surfaced. Okay,
This is a new video made by...
because there's music, this is a new video made by the passenger was on the flight the woman was on, who became distraught when she realised she was supposedly sitting next to a shapeshifter. Stop the effing plane. Stop the plane. Just a lot of commotion. There's music in the background. I just can't play the music, guys. Sorry. I will share this. Have I shared it? I probably already have. If not, I will share it. She demands to get off the plane. Stop it. Stop it. People are trying to calm her down. Get the F off this plane right now. I need to get the F off this plane. Okay, there is more. See what happens. See what happens after this. See what happens. Yeah, we said that. Repeating ourselves a bit. Okay. I don't even give a F about my stuff. She just wants off the plane. She doesn't care about her stuff. Because they were trying to get her bags from the overhead compartment. What else? Come on. If the music wasn't there, I'd play. I was so upset when I heard the music in the background. I'm going, no, I won't be able to play this. So there's a lot of commotion going on. I don't know what's happening. Someone said that the person she was sitting next to blinked funny. I don't know. Hey, I need proof. 6. What? Why is number 6 popping up on the screen? Oh dear. And this lady here is one of the flight attendants. She's trying to keep the lady calm and get her off the plane without doing anything wrong. There's a person over on the side here that ends up saying they're a lawyer. Be careful. I'm a licensed attorney. Just be careful. There you go. I'm a licensed. And they're all going, yep, okay, yep. I wish I could even find the... I couldn't even search for it yesterday. My search function on Twitter had gone. Nothing was coming up for anything I typed in. Oh my effing God, please, I'm telling you, Chloe, down. I'm getting the F off. Oh, for God's sake. Come on,
To
Twitter.
fight the woman on the plane.
What are you doing? Where was I up to? I don't even know anymore. Oh, come on. I can't play the music. Can we get further up? Because no one is getting... Because this stupid effing dude. What's your... No, yeah. That's what it said. Everyone's laughing at her too. Don't. And this is where she was saying, you know, there's that person's... I don't give a F. The person wasn't real or something. She was... That's what she was saying. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But if you want to hear the whole thing, what I'm going to do is share it on Twitter. After this new footage of the woman of the plane who claims to have seen a shapeshifter, claiming the passenger sitting next to her blinked her eyes differently. People heard claim that the person blinked in a manner similar to what we were showing in this video. So instead of up and down, it's side to side. Then the passenger realised, got desperate, and decided to leave the flight before it took off. Who knows? Ronnie Salt said, is Linda okay today? Anything else happened to incur another little tanty wine? Another tantrum whine. Is the temperature in her office suitable? Her government car waiting at the right spot? Hot luncheon served on time? Meanwhile, in the interest rate ravaged heartlands of Australia, ... She's the, what do you call it? With her Gucci handbags and all. Prada, that's right, yeah. Senator Papahatsia, okay, this guy, okay. What is this man selling? Coke? I think if you honestly, if you went and tested all major houses of parliament all over the world, or Congress or whatever, you'd probably find a lot of Coke. Tim Poole said DeSantis is sinking. He needs a course correction fast, but he only seems to be doubling down. He's got too many yes men screaming for him no matter what he does, that his team likely can't see where they are failing. Wow, he's not doing well. It's Tiff, said Coke, found in the White House Situation Room where the VP parks their vehicle. I'll bet there's camera footage of Hurricane Kamala caught blowing under. Oh, no. Oh, Pamela Hanna. Imagine my shock. Not I said so at the time, a very dangerous phrase. David Vance said, love is love, they said, but they lied. This is grossly offensive and morally degenerate. I'm not even leaving it on the screen. I'm just going to scroll straight past. Illuminati Bot said James Bond really accurately predicted that the biggest threat to life on Earth is super rich businessmen whose money didn't make them happy, and now their hobby is destroying the world. It did. So did all the Scooby-Doo cartoons, didn't they? There was always a person behind the monster face. Simon Atiba said, can someone tell me how this type of arraignment works? Former New York City Mayor Democrat Bill de Blasio and his wife of 29 years, Chirlane McRae, have amicably split to date other people without going through a divorce. Additionally, they'll continue living together in their house in Brooklyn. Well, that's just swingers, aren't they? So how does this work? Do they bring their new lovers home to the house? Will they become a big family? Do they visit them? I know this is not what we usually discuss here. I'm just intrigued. Yeah. I think they're going to have a, like, swingers type open relationship. I don't know. That's just my speculation. News.com.au, which I don't normally bookmark, said Indigenous Today star Brooke Boney has revealed her stance on the proposed voice to Parliament. Oh, yep. This is her. She's not Aboriginal. She does not look one iota Aboriginal. At all. So I'm thinking she's not Aboriginal. The Punisher said the truth will put 99% in the hospital. They do far more than traffic. We'll just watch this one together. Oh, it could be the same little girl. That was her again on Obama's knee in the Oval Office. Remember those? Remember this? Marina? Wiener? What's his name? Hanks? Weinstein was the last one. Weinstein, Epstein, and Ghislaine. What's the name? Ellen? I don't know who that is. Is that Madonna? I can't even tell anymore. There's Madonna. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, all of them, you know. Oh, the Black Eye Club now. Yep, there you go. Dude looks like a lady. Oh, she looks horrible. Courtney Cox. All of them. Red Shoe Club. Elton John. Oh, that. Oh, wow. Clinton, Gaga, Hillary, and Humour. Lady Gaga, the panda eyes, which is a sign of some kid being attacked in a very bad way. And what was Lady Gaga? Does anyone remember Lady Gaga with all these presidents? Like she's running the show, standing behind them. Little Baphomet. Okay. I think this is a guy anyway. Lady Gaga's a guy. The Prince, oh yeah, that's Frazzle Drip. There you go. Peeling skin off. Anyway, I didn't say that. All the Black Eye Club with the Follow the White Rabbit as well. Barack Obama. Is that, what's his name, Pence? Oh, Marina again with the Rothschilds. Oprah, all of them. They're all involved. Oh, the paintings in Jeffrey Epstein's buildings. All these people are in a club that we are not in and wouldn't want to be in. Believe me, we wouldn't want to be there. So yeah, I just thought I'd play that one without the music in the background. It's disgusting. I said I was going to retweet. I'm going to retweet that one. I've got to go back and retweet another one after we're finished. Awakened Outlaw said, I have questions. What in the actual F is going on here? How many hundreds of years old is she? Was this witch even alive to begin with? Why is she still in the news? Can she breathe underwater? Why are we being subjected to her presence? Why are we really being subjected to her presence? Is she bathing in milk or semen? What did we do to deserve this punishment? Can we confirm if she even has a heartbeat? Is there a refund available for the misery she has wrought on mankind? And are the rumours true that she opened a jar of pickles with her? Oh my goodness. We deserve answers. And remember Madonna in the bathtub? Well, apparently the Gateway pundits said report Madonna had to be brought back from the dead with Narcan injection, according to Radar Online. Why? Look, some people I don't think we should bring back from the dead. Word on the street is she's not sick but in a hideout. Interesting. Word on the street, she has one-way ticket to Gitmo, child trafficking on top of her military trial agenda. It's coming. Whether you believe it or not, it is coming. The red-headed libertarian said the Biden regime spared no expense to hunt down every human being within a mile of the Capitol on J6, but within 24 hours of someone leaving an 8-ball of freshly cut Nicaraguan outside the White House Situation Room, they're all like, well, you got us there. What the? Seriously. Why is anyone from J6 being held when this is going on? I like how they called it an 8-ball of freshly uncut Nicaraguan. Okay. The Punisher said the black eye is for initiation. The boot is for cooperation. Those who had the black eye have worn the boot. Do you understand? I thought, yeah, well, cooperation with... They're cooperating with the good side now. They have no choice. Those who had the black eye have worn the boot. Interesting theory. You know, they all, the Black Eye Club, right? And then they all seem to have this, you know, the moon boot for when you break your ankle or leg or whatever. Foot. I've had one. When I broke my foot many years ago, I had to wear one. But they're apparently hiding underneath those moon boots. They're hiding tracking devices. You know, the ankle monitors. Oh, this half-wit. What did I bookmark this for? Newcastle and the Hunter region is a gorgeous part of Australia and we're getting them ready for more visitors by upgrading the international terminal. Mate, I think you are terminal. It'll be world class and will mean thousands more travellers a year can come to this beautiful part of the world. They're trying to build another airport in Sydney as well. I don't know how that's going. They bought all this farmland. I think it was an excuse to buy the farmland. That's what I think it was. Because there's no airport yet. Been going on for years. And also, they're not fixing any existing roads, but they're building new ones. They're wasting taxpayers' money. That's what they're doing. These people are insane. He's wasting more money. He's going to throw money at a Newcastle airport, which isn't going to cost half as much as they're quoted for, and they take from taxpayers because they want to shove some in their pocket. Ian Yeager said breaking. Actor Jim Caviezel says he's about to expose the CIA's pedo ring, which he says is the largest in the world. Definitely, I agree. They're the ones who run the whole, I believe. They run a lot of it. Adrian Giannacanelli, me some years ago, I don't know. How is Albo and the Labor government going to face the Australian people if the yes vote loses after giving millions of dollars to all sporting bodies, major companies, etc., to bribe them into voting yes when the money could have gone to, say, a boarding school for the Indigenous kids in Northern Territory? Kyle Becker said climate activist Greta Thunberg has been criminally charged and could face... Oh, this is the second time we've heard this. For defying police officers, she always gets off. He always gets. She, he. I don't know anymore. Stu Peters said only people who attack babies have tattoos of themselves doing so. I'm not going to stop on it. It's disgusting. I will retweet it. But someone does have, this guy does have a tattoo of that. He did try and get it covered up. Not today, Satan, said John Legend. What celebrity can you simply not stand even if anyone else likes them? Tom Hanks. Can't stand him. Okay, Travis says happening now. The coke was actually found just one floor below the Oval Office, right outside the Situation Room. Biden's spokesperson, Andrew Bates, refused to rule out Hunter as a suspect. This means that someone was able to sneak in a controlled substance that isn't allowed in the White House and leave it right outside the room where the President of the United States and his top staff and intelligence officials meet. Either the Secret Service is incompetent or it belonged to a member of the Biden family. Any guess who? Pauline Hanson says the Nationals. Pauline Hanson's Please Explain. Another cartoon from Pauline Hanson. Rural and regional Australia is the engine room of Australia's economy. Without their farms, mines, resources and royalties, there is no Aussie way of life. So why does it seem politicians from the cities are able to shake the bush down for everything it's worth? Where are the ones who are supposed to fight for the bush to make sure they'll get their fair share? Why haven't they been doing their job? You'll just have to tune into this week's episode of Please Explain to find out. Are we ready?
Well, if it isn't Barnaby Joyce. Welcome back to the Bumpkin Bus. Yeah, good on you, Phil. How's it going, mate? Oh, little brat, that's my spot. Not anymore, Barnaby. I'm in charge now. Oh, bugger off. Ever since you've been here, the Bumpkin Bus has gone to shit. I'm the new king of the country folk. Now sit down, Barnaby. Oh, bloody hell. What's going on? Yeah, I'm driving this electric bus because you blokes signed off on net zero. Yeah, that was Barnaby. Yeah, you didn't have a bloody problem with it either. Righto, everyone's going to have to get off. No, we can't go out there. It's the inner city. Why are you so nervous, Bob? He's nervous because you blokes let the city folk walk all over us country folk. Well, don't worry, country folk. I'm in charge now. I'll protect you guys. Well, that sounded a lot like gendered language. You ain't from around here, are you? Oh, looks like we've got some country bumpkins here. Little Brown, I thought you were going to protect us. I can do more on this side than I can on that side, okay? Yeah, don't you worry your simple little heads about it. I needed that water for me cows! Not anymore, these methane emissions are pretty high. Looks like we're gonna have to kill them all! Have you got a permit for this? Are you excavating Aboriginal land? Let's take all their money! What do you city kids need with our money? For the Olympics, we've got stadiums to reno. And underground tunnels to build. And electric vehicles to subsidise. And art festivals to run. And diversity committees to establish. You should be grateful for what we're doing for you. Yeah, say thank you. Righto, little Pratt. If you're just going to stand there and let this happen, I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands. Sorry, Bob. They want to take them too, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Oh, no. Oh, what are we going to do?
Get in.
Miss Senator Hanson, you really are a hero of the Regents. And now I can be leader of the Nats again.
Hang on, Barnaby. Back when you were leader, you let the city kids walk all over the country kids, and David Littleproud is no different. All you nationals should be embarrassed.
Oh, gee, this thing's not going to break down, is it?
This is a 6.7 litre diesel engine. She'll run all day long.
Authorised by D. Huxham for Pauline.
Go, Pauline. That's all I can say about that. It's pretty true what she's saying. Amuse said, source, Ukraine's effort to convince the world Russia was going to destroy a nuclear power plant under their control has backfired, as we know. As all eyes in the sky and on ground are being focused on the plant in an effort to catch culprits in the act, presumably Ukraine's now worried they might get caught sabotaging the facility with so much scrutiny. DC Drano said, turns out Meta was hiring dozens of former Twitter employees who had work phones and docs from company so they could create a Twitter clone the past few months. Now Elon Musk is getting ready to sue them for violating intellectual property and trade secret laws. Good. There you go. Elon's suing Zuckerberg. Josephine Cashman says this indigenous subversive ideological movement is a device to recolonise the world under the United Nations, in case you didn't know, to remove our connection to countries so we belong nowhere, to reduce us to serfs for the UN Agenda 2030 plan, so the tax haven globalists can asset strip the developed world. You'll own nothing and they'll be happy. That's what it's more about. Greenpeace Canada said, everywhere you go in Canada, there you are. Never forget the system of colonial extractivism that threatens all life on Earth was made possible by the violent removal of indigenous... Oh, God. Canada. See, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, we're all going through the same shit. Low-key Ray 2.0 said, good morning, they just wanted to start off with a list of people and things they can't locate or won't release. Number 1, the White House Coke culprit. Number 2, the Nash Shooter Manifesto. Number 3, Roe vs. Wade SCOTUS leaker. Number 4, the J6 pipe bomber. Number 5, the 40,000 hours of J6 video. Number 6, Seth Richards killer. Number 7, Epstein client list. And number 8, 2.3 trillion in Pentagon transactions. Our intelligence agencies are either inept or in on it. They're in on it. And some of their transactions could go to people like BLM, for all we know, and Antifa. And then that little Nazi ones they're doing now. 40 Head says this is a lot to process, and I'll readily admit I have not verified anything here, so take it with a grain of salt, but what I have looked into appears legit, and a lot of this fits perfectly into what's been exposed in the past. There are deep and serious connections here. I recommend a diligent read of this thread and a share to carry it along its way if you're so moved. The Iron Bomb list. What's this? Where is it? Oh, where did the children go? Thread. And then there's this picture. Okay, Governor Grisham, NM, USA, with headshot caller for Sonola Cartel, who partners with ISIS for trafficking. USBP, Ericsson admits to funding ISIS in SDNY court. ISIS partner, MS Governor. Alex Soros manages 2 facilities in the state to process unaccompanied minors. IG reports estimated 5,256 missing. At least half were released to unknown foreigners. Security cams glitched with each pickup. Peraton Labs has the contract, subsidiary of Ericsson. Open Society Tides Foundation. Working with Soros at these facilities is Dr. M. Wolf. Stansbury has contact just south of the facility located at Las Cruces, NM. The SOS husband is in the board of the Thornburg Foundation. Oh, wow. Wolf, State Rep Stansbury, US Rep Lega Fernandez, all partnered with Ghislaine Maxwell until her arrest, EcoHealth Alliance uses FBI officially designated symbol for female child slavery as its logo, as does Liga Fernandez Charity. These biolab contracts give diplomatic pouch, no size limit, access courtesy of the Ukrainian government. Also, the main highways in Yemen are known as Smuggler's Road by ICE, Interpol, US Marshals. These diplomatic pouches have been tracked to Malmo, Sweden and Benghazi. The southern border is within walking distance of the Stansbury contract. Soros admits to funding caravans to bring him children. Ericsson has contracts as indicated, and Mexican army has confiscated one of their trucks carrying 117 children. They claim it... Where's the next bit? They claim it... Oh, they claim it. Ericsson Jalisco offices are neighbours with CJNG cartels headquarters. ISIS tags are on walls nearby and some on the same block. UN lists as #1 child trafficking site in the world. Leaked from Ericsson internal audit on risks of being a slavery supplier with Ericsson. 1626 categories, the risk is high. 3 medium risks, 7 include temporary salespeople low. Ericsson has offices in 180 countries. They only audited 38. NM and Mexico wouldn't allow complete data access to their own auditors. Still, there were major findings, major incidents of slave supplying anyway. When the planes land in Malmo, they unloaded cargo and load orphans reportedly as kidnapped by Ukrainian parents, some positively identified and distributed to 80 countries to child camps. Funding for this orphan program comes from the Sina and Alice Wallenberg Foundation. One former major donor of the foundation, as well as Barbo Enbom's BBB Girls, was Epstein, another Open Society foundation which still donates to both. Enbom runs Barbo's Best and Brightest Young Girls and mentors at Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden. A previous frequent visitor was Epstein. Enbom also supplied girls for Epstein in New York and continues to sponsor special parties at the House of Sweden in DC, in the same building as Hunter and Joe's office, where Ericsson has a lot of surveillance equipment. William Burns, CIA, Hillary Clinton have attended these parties where everything is recorded, and Peter Wallenberg, Ericsson, has all the data for blackmail or exposure. Hasn't exposed anyone yet, and he had the similar contracts with Epstein at Zorro's Ranch, NM, New Mexico. Enbom also has biolab contracts, as do a few of her BBB girls. Like this one, who began her professional career as a senior exec at AstraZeneca, then moved to Karolinska Hospital. And this one on right with her friend Michelle Obama, over here. Enbom also has a wellness centre where yoga of this sort is taught. Oh. Some bondage yoga going on there. Yogurt? Yoga. Former National Police Commissioner, when it was reported that 38 children were molested at a festival, started a campaign to issue all little girls with an armband with the words "Don't Grope" printed on them. The current commissioner is his protege. As mentioned, Enbom has access to biolabs through her girls. This is the original contract for biolabs in 1994. It was amended, replacing Sweden with EU as full partners. Canada, EU, Ukraine, and the United States of America. Ericsson has facilities, and there are biolabs in all these locations where ICIJ reported fraud, funding ISIS and other wrongdoing. The yellow dots are where they promised to hire an outside inspector to watch them, but they admitted they didn't stop. Note South Africa. With slave issues, and now ISIS is one in red on the map, where sister company ABB also has criminal issues. ABB bribe scheme in South Africa nearly collapsed over division of loot. This shows the routes of Ericsson, CIA air traffic and prime slave routes. CIA traffic enters Europe through London. Ericsson from Malmo Slaves are brought from Africa, the Americas, Europe to Jordan and Ukraine, also shown are biolab locations. These are the biolabs, obviously. Wow. I didn't even read this before I started, guys. Timothy Roberts said Ukraine labs, organs, children, no further comment. What's going on? Hang on. There exist labs belonging to the defenders of Ukraine. These were nationalist battalions. They received commission from their deals. What they did was murdering children, placing organs into containers, and passing those containers on. And the containers were taken out of the country under a grain export code. We liquidated 8 such labs. They look something like what we call basements. For the most part, we'd get there after they were cleared. In other words, the lab would be discovered after an explosion. We'd walk out into the ashes of the subsequent fire. There were corpses, there were children. Dissected children. I mean, they were cut up. There existed labs belonging to the defenders of Ukraine. Oh yeah, I've started again. There you go. I'm reading it twice now. Many Caucasian captives never leave Ukraine, as Ukraine never completed the legal process to become a nation. Organ harvesting is not illegal. It is still open for rejuvenation therapy, medical tourism. See Canaries Blue for proof. Children who don't survive and children who live an average 2 years as slaves have their identities stolen in various countries along the way. These are used to open bank accounts for money laundering and to pad voter rolls. It's all connected. The roots. The octopus. Shown above are also used for arms smuggling, as the labs provide diplomatic pouches by the CIA, whose director is leveraged through N-bomb by Peter Wellenberg Erickson, just as Hillary and other N-bomb girls have unique relationships with. Each biolab scientist contractor receives one of these permits to transport, among other things, human tissue and fluids from the USDA. India is the #1 slave nation with an average 8 million child slaves with an average lifespan of 2 years. China second with about 7 million. The world's slave hubs are New Mexico, Jalisco, Sweden, Ukraine, Libya. Sources: Alliance 8, US Marshals, Interpol, UN Slavery Index, USBP, Barbo, N-bomb, and some independent investigators. Children, Youth, Money. There is a company called Erickson, Epstein, Maxwell, N-bomb, the blackmail business. I will share this on Twitter. Epstein list, people equals people owned. 4th bust this year of trafficking safe house with a number of adults chained inside. Children separated, location unknown. Stansbury with consulting contracts with WCS by a lab contract. Same small town, 14 kilometres from Mexico. ISIS with Erickson. Tech partnering with Sinola for trafficking. Founded the NNSA, later DHS. Epstein clients. DHS supplies children. Ulf Christensen under criminal investigation by multiple countries for child trafficking. Today a criminal investigation is underway in Chile that investigates crimes against humanity. It covers a total of thousands of adoptions internationally, with over 630 cases relating to adoptions in Sweden. Barbo, N-bomb, financial idiot or sponsoring of trafficking, financing Ghislaine Maxwell's acquisitions. Slave traders use free abortion clinics, guarantee all evidence destroyed of underage attack victims and no report to authorities. Hunter Biden at the House of Sweden with girls supplied by N-bomb. America's MSM taking back seat to Russia media. You know it's bad. Hunter Biden's called out by Russian news and media for filming himself in dozens of sex tapes with underage girls while measuring and using crack. Okay, there's even more. It's okay, you shouldn't need much more than that. That was huge. Okay, I've got to go back one more. That was a lot. Wow. I will retweet that. Tim Young said Secret Service knows exactly who that coke belongs to, just like the Navy knew exactly when the submarine imploded. They're just not telling us. Malcolm Roberts said, gutless. Stand by your words or don't say them at all. Sherry Markson said the Home Affairs Minister has now deleted her tweets calling former President Donald Trump's son a big baby and a sore loser. These are the tweets she deleted. She said, geez, Donald Trump Jr. is a bit of a sore loser and his dad lost an election fair and square but says it was stolen. Well, because it was. Now he's trying to blame the Australian government for his poor ticket sales and cancelled tour. Donald Trump, I thought he was banned from coming. That's what I heard. Donald Trump Jr. has been given a visa to come to Australia. He didn't get cancelled. He's just a big baby who isn't very popular. Really? I heard they had pulled his visa. Il Donaldo Trumpo said at least decency is back in the White House. Are you ready for it? Can't play the music, but there you go. Look. There's like strippers and look, there's Hunter and there's fires all over the place and multicolours going on inside the White House and this lady trying to talk her way out of it. Like, she seems like a nice lady, but she's a diversity hire. Same as half of the ladies in our parliament. Liz Churchill said, let's welcome Hunter to the Doing Coke on National TV Club. And Zelensky and Ardern. And how about Dan Andrews, when he turned away from the camera and did something and turned back and... Laura Loomis said the biggest story here is the fact that somebody on President Trump's staff who's very tied in with Kevin McCarthy was clearly hiding disinformation from President Trump and the rest of his advisors, which means there are people who still work for Donald Trump who are trying to undermine him. That's why the campaign didn't know about it until I broke the story and published the CAGOP documents. Looks to me like snakes are still in the den. Election Wizard said Barris, Trump's spokesperson, confirms campaign thoroughly disapproves of CAGOP proposed rule changes to delegate. Okay, it's a live stream. What I will do is I'll retweet it for anyone who wants to go see. But there's apparently still swamp creatures in the swamp, who would have thought? Mario Norfall said, around President Trump. Breaking, Twitter to sue Meta. Facebook's litany of copycat fails. Elon's lawyer Alex Spiro sent a letter to Mark Zuckerberg threatening legal action, claiming that Meta hired former Twitter employees to create a clone. This isn't surprising, as Facebook's motto has always been, why innovate when you can imitate? Unlike great tech innovators, Meta literally just takes others' ideas and repackages them. It's no secret that Meta has copycat culture, and we know this because a US House Judiciary Committee probe in 2020 revealed emails from April 2012 with Facebook employees stating copying is faster than innovating. Zuckerberg was asked by the Judiciary Committee whether Facebook ever threatened to clone the products of another company while also trying to acquire that company. He responded, not that I recall. Please don't laugh. Remember when Elon Musk was mocked for Twitter Blue, then a few months later Instagram copied the strategy? Old habits die hard. A quick guide to examples of Facebook copycat fails. Number 1, Facebook check-in deals started in 2011, closed after 4 months. This was a copy of Groupon and Living Social. Number 2, Facebook gifts started in September 2012, closed after 1 year. This was a copy of the gifting app Karma. Number 3, Facebook acquired Pass in 2013 but had to shut it down. It was doing well before Facebook bought it. 4, Facebook credits. Users said it was too confusing. Credits were used by many companies like Disney dining credits. 5, Facebook messages with email. This was touted as Gmail killer, but it was dropped as it was not popular. Facebook Places. This was similar to Foursquare. In September 2011, it was shut down due to privacy concerns. Facebook Stories. This was a failed copy of Pinterest and Snapchat. A Facebook Slingshot. This was a Snapchat imitation that launched in 2014 but was scrapped in 2015. And the Facebook poke. This was probably the first Snapchat feature imitation, launched in December 2012 and pulled in 2014. My thoughts: firstly, I hope Twitter proceed with their lawsuit, as someone needs to stand up to Meta's vulture-like approach to business, acquiring competitors or destroying them by copying their product. But at the same time, I do not think Meta is a threat to Twitter. Twitter and Meta are fundamentally different. It's not about functionality, it's about each platform's stance on free speech. Both platforms can coexist, they are not mutually exclusive. The same way Twitter is shifting to X, the everything app, Meta is expanding so they compete with Twitter. I expect both ecosystems to exist a decade from now with similar apps but very different experiences. This difference makes it impossible for each to copy the other. Twitter will always be the free speech town hall, and no other platform can take away that crown. Certainly not Meta. So you simply need to ask yourself, how important is free speech to you? Meta versus Twitter, who comes out on top? I'll say Twitter will. Ariel said, Steven Spielberg, when they put these children in certain clothes, they are marked for ritualistic occult practices to occur. Masonic, Zionist, Illuminati, these would be the types of clothes designated to resemble symbolism in the occult. Do you remember how she died? Little Heather O'Rourke? I remember how she died. Henry Winkler, Steven Spielberg, and someone else? Who was that other person? I can't quite remember. And she had a bowel blockage. Can you imagine what that was from? Not her own body doing it. I do not believe that's what they have said is the official story. I do not believe the official story because I heard otherwise. She was being attacked. Costamara said Labor is attacking Dutton because he attacks large companies campaigning for the voice. I don't think Labor's frame here is wise. Here is what Dutton recently said. Look at Wesfarmers. I think their $2 billion would be better off reducing prices in the supermarkets. So are our rising prices being used for the voice, are they? Or reducing prices at Bunnings? When I go to Bunnings, I'd like to pay less for my goods, not more, and I don't want to, every time I hand over my credit card or cash at Bunnings or at Coles, I don't want part of that money going to an activist CEO. Voter frustration at Canberra not focusing on the cost of living crisis perceived is increasing daily. When we push voters to blame someone, who do they blame? Large companies. Corporate Australia's social licence has withered away over the last 20 years. Dutton knows that. I don't even know what this person's talking about. I'm off with the fairies, don't mind me. Rosita Diaz says, since when has it become I can't pronounce that. For politicians to insult their constituents. You know, the little people get called Chicken Little and racist, Nazi, etc. This is very much out of the fascist handbook. When did politicians become so rude, so arrogant, so narcissistic and ego-laden to voters? I don't know, but I don't like it. Joey Manarino said potassium bromate is banned from human consumption in Europe, China, Brazil, Canada, India and more. It's quite literally toxic to humans. It promotes the development of tumours. In America, you can find it in just about any product on the shelf. Bagels, breads, crackers, donuts, muffins, pastries, pizza, pretzels, rolls, tortillas, ice cream cones and more. Try making your own. Every time you eat one of those, you're literally ingesting cancer. This, of course, benefits Big Pharma and anyone else who can make a buck off our illness. This is a serious disaster. Most companies won't take the incentive and do better for their customers if they have to take a loss somewhere to make the changes. And I don't blame the companies. Their goal is to make money, period. If it's legal, they're going to do it. That's how life works. Most people can't even afford the products without this chemical. They're too expensive. I did groceries yesterday with my wife, 2 people and a dog. We bought for about 2 weeks. The cart was $319. This was in Publix, not a fancy place like Whole Foods. If I bothered to look at the ingredients of what we bought, I'm sure I'd find far more cancer-causing, weight-gaining trash like potassium bromate. So what are you supposed to do? I say time and time again, the FDA is poisoning us by allowing this shit in our country, and they're making us the fattest country in the world as they laugh all the way to the bank. And no, I'll not stop complaining about it. It's a bipartisan disaster. Both parties allow this stuff to continue and allow people to die because they refuse to address the poison we are eating as we gain weight, look like fat tubs of horseshit, and walk deeper into our coffins at every bite. Okay. There you go. Make your own. Start making your own stuff. From scratch if you can. New York Times said Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a leading vaccine skeptic and purveyor of conspiracy theories, who has leaned heavily on misinformation as he mounts his long-shot 2024 campaign for the Democratic nomination. And here are 5 noteworthy falsehoods he's promoted, and I'm not going to read them. Why did I even put that in my bookmarks? Am I still in book? Yeah, I am. Okay, well that's the take they're going with. That's the story they're going with. DC Drano said this is a man on heavy drugs in front of children at the White House, and I think I've shown that. Okay, so let's go back to all your comments now. Where am I? Can I go back to the beginning? Oh. Okay. George said there are a lot of demonic people in the world. MJ said, listen, if you can see them, I get it. It's scary as hell as all get out. Darren said the guy she was sitting next to frightened her. He said he was a Freemason and had tattoos all over his face. She said Freemasons worship Lucifer and said he was Lucifer. Okay, thank you. Deb said, I saw the liquidating of people was sickening. Hey, damn it, Mandy, how you going? I can't... Where am I? Am I getting better on here or there? Oh, hang on a sec. I'll bring this over because I'm able to see better on here. Okay. Let's go back through... Where was I? I was saying hello to everyone in the beginning. Kat said, greetings from stormy Florida. Alex said, happy birthday for Monday. Thank you, because I don't know if I'll be here. So, if I can, I'll come out on live, but I think I'm babysitting on Monday. Babysitting and mum-sitting. My mum. Thank you, though. Faye said, yep, I sure do. MJ said, no, saying hello to everyone. Kat said, I got unsubbed because I lost my credit card. I will redo. Oh, God love you. Pat said, hello, everyone. How you going, Pat? Everyone's saying hello. David said, at 72, aging is fairly familiar to me. Just want to know who the damn time bandits are and how to stop them. Yeah, I'd like to stop time from going forward. I mean, aging, I'm talking about. Who cares? Nicey, hey from South Carolina, everyone. MJ said mayo goes bad in sunlight. Hey, Zal, how you going? Sherry, how you going? Zal said, this guy's not even Aboriginal. Yes, he's not. The guy who wrote the voice and signed off on the Uluru statement is not even Aboriginal. MJ said, I do not think he knows what he is. Black. Alex said, that's awesome. I hope everything stays on schedule, David. Everyone's saying hello. Deb's saying hello. Zal's saying hello. George is saying hello. Everyone's saying hello. Okay. And Shannon, hello. Elena, hello. What's going on? Everyone is good? I hope so. Robin, how you going? Cynthia, how you going? Sorry if I say your name twice. I'm just going over everyone's comments, trying to see what's going on. Zal said WEF heart equals a caterpillar, a cricket, and a spider. David said he hisses like a spitting cobra. Robin said he eats bugs. Alex said always working hard. Cynthia says this guy makes me throw up in my mouth. Yeah. And Simone says, hi, Simone. Shannon said, still clear here, but sure it's coming. We've got the wind. Should have heard it last night. I found out that my chicken coop will stand 50 km/h winds. because I went out and bought these massive big tent pegs, and they're thick as. Haven't got one to show you, but I've got one of the other ones I can show you. And this is bigger than the one it came with, okay? These were similar to the tent pegs I got with the actual cage thing to hold it down, and it's bent. Still bent. Doesn't matter. Couple of days, mate, it'll be right. Yeah, so I've got these really thick ones, so it holds good, luckily. Okay, Alex said playing harder. Kat said Klaus is being exposing. Yeah, he exposes himself on the beach. Dealey said I feel very passionate about ending WEF. Elena said I have to go wash the dishes because Klaus Schwab is busy bullshitting the world. And Kat said exposed. MJ said I always see chiffon bows with that psycho and his member. I know. That's all when I think of Klaus Schwab, I think of the picture of him on the beach with his little pee-pee in some kind of lingerie. And his lacy fishnet stockings. Oh, that's what they look like anyway. I don't know if they are fishnets or not. George said Klaus Schwab is all about money. Azal said start munching the popcorn. Elena said, why are you following all these posts on Twitter? You like to feel scared and psyop? No, I just follow everyone for a lot of information, and it's up to you what you choose to believe. I know that there is something scary coming. It's going to be a shock to the world, and those of us even awake. It's going to be scary. I believe it'll be nuclear, and I believe it'll be either over the ocean or in the air. Menacing Muskrat said George O'Brien Schwab is all about control. Alex said they can keep Z-bugs. Cynthia? Zal said everyone's perspective and spiritual understanding needs to be on the same page before we can even think about an honest world that is in harmony with the spirit that moves through all things. Kat said shellfish are sea bugs. Shrimp too. We already eat Z-bugs. Alex said, yeah, they're gross cat. Deb said, hey, Elena, Simone. George said, money and control menacing. Alex said, bottom feeders. Cynthia said, nope, I don't do seafood. Whoa, it just jumped in a big way. Okay, so I've got to try and get back up. Damn it, Mandy said, whose baby was that? I don't know, some lady's baby that they gave to 2 gay men. Deb said, they're giving gay men a baby. Alex said, yeah, I know, it's disgusting, so disrespectful. I think Boris wanted to turn people into fertiliser though, so there's that too. I must have missed a few comments there when the chat jumped. Sal said, the Aboriginal folk out in the outback never see any money. Yeah, exactly. That's what they need it. Work out where that money's going. And it could be a lot less and would help the Aboriginal people. It's because these people are pocketing the money that it's growing more and more. They're giving themselves more money every year. Deb said, and the plane lady is missing. Is she? Sal said, wouldn't surprise me if more people start seeing what that lady saw on the plane. Yeah, but I'd definitely, but I'd have to see it myself, for myself, you know. Menacing Muskrat said, definitely a symbol. George said, there are a lot of demonic people in the world. MJ said, listen, if you can see them, I get it. Scary as all. Get out. Deb said, I saw the liquidating of people was sickening. Alex said, hey, damn it, Mandy, glad you made it. I think 2 men adopted that baby. Where's the link Heaven sent? The link to what? What link? MJ said they have abilities. I don't blame her. Deb said, hey, Mandy. Shannon said, Cobra Kai. Hey, I am Kai. How you going? Damn it, Mandy said, Alex, thank you. I was wondering. Sal said, not everyone that looks like a human in this world is human. We're going to see soon enough. Deb said, it could be the beginning of seeing these people who are not human. It could be. Shannon said, Soylent Green as people, Deb. Darren said, no, Shannon, I feel sick now. I am Kai said McDonald's is people too. Damn it, Mandy said do what everyone else does and scream fair use and say it's for educational reasons. The people in my community get away with it all the time. Yeah, but they don't, I don't know. Well, this channel they don't seem to be watching as closely as the last one. So I probably am free to say more, but... Oh shit, it's jumped again. Darren said, no, Muskrat, me, Crane is not. Maybe Ukraine is, though. Alex said, undercover eyes to see. Hey, eyes, how you going? Deb said, that's good idea. Oh, the chat jumped and I can't get back to the comments. I've missed a lot of comments. Darren said, George, they already are brought up to commit crimes against humanity. Sal said, Dealey, I don't think they realised just how deeply embedded the evil really was throughout our realm. That's why it's taking longer to squeeze out the wet sponge. I said, Alex, oh yes, then everything is recorded if any poop hits the fan or if I'm under attack. Darren said, thanks for the grammar check, Muskrat. George said, yeah, I know, Darren. This so-called elites need to be stopped. Ukraine is Europe, Darren says, menacing. Kat said, funny because it isn't really Hunter. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are on it in the White House. George said there are no better than us. Shannon said lol bump. Alex said no one is George. Shannon said little bump. Darren said they scratched their nose after snorting coke because the bubbles itch. Oh, I couldn't imagine bubble feeling in your nose. Bad enough if you swallow liquid and it comes out your nose. Deb said 9:50 a.m. Adelaide. And very moist. Whoa. I said, Alex, it will be double eyes to see, ears to hear. Darren said, Crane is also in Europe. Muskrat. Shannon said, no rain yet, but clouds are massing. Yeah, we're getting it this afternoon. I don't know if it's the same thing, but George said, Darren, traces of coke were found all over the Houses of Parliament. Shannon said, got to take my son to a play date soon. Ah, cool. Francis said, Shannon, stop whining, lol. Everyone's saying, hey, Francis. Menacing said, anybody seen Sound of Freedom? I could only see the, what do you call it? The trailer. I can't find anywhere to watch it. I don't even know if it's playing in cinemas here or not. Darren said, I know, George, so obvious if you watch PMQs, they're always high. George said, yeah, high and act like kids. Shannon said, what the fuck? Just because I'm saying I'm listening, can't type, I'll be driving, not whinging. Kat said, red shoes. Darren says, Hev's Dalek voice just came through. Oh, did it? I said, Heather O'Rourke was abused and murdered, they'll burn a lake of hell. Deb said, me, I have to take the hubby down to the hubby daycare, aka pub, and drop him off every day for a couple of hours to get peace. Alex said, have a lovely time, Shannon. I said, my message was withheld for Hev to see. I didn't even see it because the chat jumped. George said, I used to love Doctor Who until it became woke. Dana said, Henry Winkler was involved with Heather O'Rourke's death. We believe so. Alex said, I don't think any harm was meant. Shannon. MJ said, is the date 7/7/23? I am gobsmacked. Heather, the lab specialising our children as product. Yeah, well, your date over there is, today is the 8th of the 7th, 23 here. And I'm oh God, I'm another year older now. Feels like 10. Feels like I've aged 10 years in the last year. Darren said, so did I, George. The damn Beeb runs everything now. George said, yeah, Darren. Alex said, I just hit the 8th here, but was realising it was the 7th bombing. Oh, okay. Darren said, George, it was better when the doctor's morals and politics were that of a Time Lord and not as a woke lefty human. Deb said, hair is looking good. Yeah, it's growing. Look. I told you it was like an 80s kind of flickied haircut, kind of. Alex, MJ said, Alex, see, you get me. I'm overwhelmed right now. Good, though. Carl said, don't let me down, Bruce. How you going, Carl? I said, the deep state are about to fall very soon. Lots of tunnels underground because they're terrified of the ones that sitteth on the throne. MJ said, hey, Carl, Dan Carl, you missed some awesomeness. Alex said, I completely forgot. Can't believe it was that long ago. Feels like yesterday. Everyone's saying hello. Hey, Timmy. How you going? How's everything going? Good. I've got my grandkids coming up today. They're coming at lunchtime, so that's like an hour away or so. I've got 2 of them coming up. I was only going to have the granddaughter, but now I've got my grandson as well. And then on Monday, I've got to go down the mountain. Monday is my birthday. I've got to go down the mountain and babysit and mum sit. So I don't know if I'll be on Monday. I'm hoping to, but I don't know. And Stu said love to all of you. You too, Stu. Menacing Muskrat said John... she's put a link in there. Everyone's saying, hey, Stu and Timmy. I said, it's about time people woke up. Musk not real. Zuckerberg not real. We'll find out. Oh, it jumped again. Where am I? Okay, MJ said under your feet. Alex said going good, hope your leg is fully mended now. Timmy, yeah, how's it going, Timmy, with you and your housemate's legs? Did you both break your legs? Darren said my internet just went down using mobile internet now. Oh, don't forget they're going to cut off the internet as well. They're going to cut off the internet. They'll probably use the nuclear strike as the pulling the internet. I don't know. Oh, or a sunspot, menacing muskrat. Yep, sunspot arriving the next few days. Never seen one so big. They can use that. I said the fake lizard QE2, her husband Philip said he wanted to come back as a plague and kill us all. He was executed under Trump. Yep. Alex said, no, hope it sticks out, Darren. Tim S. said, yeah, shrimp are indeed bugs. Yeah, we call them prawns here. When I was doing some work for medical examiner's office in Florida, we went to a scene of a body off the pier. When the body was brought up, it was covered in shrimp. Oh, wow. I didn't know shrimp would eat people, bodies. I'm going to rethink my shrimp intake, prawn intake. We get big prawns here too. Tim S. said, I've never eaten another one, lol. Oh, I love prawns. D. Lee said, I need proof that I. Yeah, I do too. I need proof. Pat said they have staff in every hospital that tell mothers their baby died and give them to others for money. Pat, that does not surprise me at all. Nursing Muskrat said, SpongeBob, check out on Google Maps Bottoms Beach and guess where it takes you. Guess. I don't know. Kat said the Coke story is part of the movie. Alex said that's disgusting. Most people never realise, Timmy. Dealey said, thanks, I just had shrimp for dinner the other night. MJ said Hunter's habit tattoo on his back, all related family business. Stu said crayfish are bugs, so are mud crabs. I'll have them, yes please. Menacing Muskrat said MJ, 5 fingers lake tattoo. MJ said Hev, is it 777? That's what I meant. News coming out. Oh, 7th day of the 7th month. At 7 a.m, 7 p.m, I don't know. But I think news is going to be breaking while I'm doing this because Friday afternoon, Friday nights in the US, they've been dropping some big things lately. MJ said Hunter Joe provide for those labs. George said be back soon, going to get a few more beers. Hey President Chris Saltine, how you doing? Shannon said, okay, I'm back feeding chooks and dogs, not feeding chooks to the dogs. I've got to feed my chickens. Deb said, happy birthday for Monday, Hev. Thank you, Deb. Stu said, there's a reference to shellfish in the Bible. Hope that don't include Oh, no. I think, no, it could be. Do not eat shellfish. Simone said, how's your dad going without your mum there? It must be strange for him without his wife. It is. He's finding it very strange. And my mum and I were talking to my dad and he said it won't be long till I'm the same. And he did ask me what happens if I sell the house. He said, well, I lose my pension. I said, if you keep the money, you will. But if you buy another house, you should be able to keep your pension. So, I don't know. But he's feeling it. MJ said, chickens are not Scooby snacks. Deb said, yes, how are the folks, Heaven? Mum's doing better too, being back at home, away from the hospital. I don't know, she seems to go in and out of lucidness or lucidity. Sometimes she is with it, and other times she's just not. Menacing Muskrat said, another trip around the sun. Heaven said, happy birthday, mate. Thank you, Menacing Muskrat. I said, how's the poor chickens and the bully turkey? You know what the turkey did? I caught him chasing the cats. And the cat bolted under the house because the turkey was after it. So my cats are scared of the turkey. And it's chasing them. I can't believe it chased the cats. And he's got 2 massive nests in my backyard. They look like compost heaps, so I'm going to leave them. But I'm sure he really wants my chickens. I think he thinks he's the same breed as the chickens. Dana said, yes, they are warning solar flares will turn off the internet. I don't even believe solar flares are a real thing. Same here, Dana. I question everything now. President Chris Saltine said, hey, Alex. Nursing Muskrat said, bottom beaches on Epstein Island. Oh, okay. There you go. Is that where SpongeBob comes from? Darren said, Dana, flares haven't been a thing since the 70s. I said, Alex, I haven't been on for weeks and YouTube is still blocking my messages. How dare they? Timo said, yes, we both broke our legs 2.5 months apart. Just as I got out of my wheelchair, I gave it to him. I'm back to walking normally again with a little pain, and my roommate is still using his cane. Yep, that happened to me when I broke my foot from a wheelchair to a walking stick, like a walking stick. MJ said, pork is like shrimp. Pour Pepsi or Coke in it, and oh no. MJ said, parasites are a big thing. President Chris Saltine said they are changing where the Coke in the White House was found. First it was in the library, now it is where? Camilla Parks. Menacing Muskrat said, check who owns those islands. Epstein, Branson, Oprah, the whole club. Yes. Alex said, glad you're both nearly back to fully mended, Timmy. Definitely. I'm going to go soon, guys, because I've got my grandkids coming very shortly. Oh, well, in an hour or so. My candle's gone out. Cup is still hot. Okay, Alex said, glad you're both nearly back to fully mended, Timmy. MJ said, MSM lies. D-Lee said, MJ, yes, I tried it with Coke and it's so gross. So apparently when you pour Coke over the pork, these little worms come out. Darren said, President Chris Saltine, does Camilla Park on Hunter's nose then? Oh, dear God. Probably. I said, we live on a flat extended plane with the inner ice wall and the outer ice wall with the firmament that sits above. Fact. Menacing Muskrat said, if you check out the map of those islands, even Biden's own island. Oh, really? Because I've never watched SpongeBob. I don't know. MJ said, Darren, you disappeared. President Chris Saltine said, Darren, of course. Darren said, yes, MJ, my internet went down for a while. There's high winds here, so I was kind of expecting maybe that ours would go. But so far it's standing up. I'm just got to get another candle, guys, sorry. Oh, squeaky chair. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm going to finish it up in a sec. In case people are wondering, I have this little candle. Now, it's really old and it looks crappy. It used to have a teapot on top. It's supposed to be an oil burner, right? It had a teapot on top where you put the oil in. Well, now, for those who don't know, I had a cup, you know, one of those thermal cups. It was like this. It had a black bottom on it though, plastic bottom. Well, the bottom fell off, and can you see what's under? It's double layered. The handle fell off it as well. And this is the cup I sit on top of the candle. It sits perfectly over the top of it, and it keeps my cuppa warm for hours. I could leave it there all day if the candle would stay lit, and it'd be warm all day. It gets a film on top of the milk, but anyway. Okay, where am I up to? Down, yep, I read that one. Menacing Muskrat said there are so many islands, just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, well, just reading that, reading some of those threads there just made me like, ugh, you know? Like the Ericsson one. There are so many islands, just the tip of the iceberg. MJ said, holy crap, thunderstorms in Florida. Stu said, see you in the soup taking a pee next to the carrot. Deb said, what are you cooking for dinner, Hev? I'm making homemade nuggets, chicken nuggets, out of breast and thigh, chicken thigh. I'm going to crumb them myself. And we're going to have, should we have mashed potatoes with broccoli and corn? Corn is 97% of corn is GMO'd. I don't know. But I'm definitely having homemade chicken nuggets with good chicken, not with tofu. Shannon said, Biden's island is water island, watch the waters. I said, there is actually 7 firmaments if you ponder deeper into the Bible. Ooh. MJ said, you need a good Yeti, Hev. And Menacing Muskrat said, thumbs it up, folks. And with that, I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm hoping to be back on Monday, but I don't know. Okay, guys, have a good one. You just lost power, MJ. Oh, no. And Menacing Muskrat said, Ghislaine Maxwell has submarine license. The yachts can handle the subs. Cool. Okay, guys, with that, much love. I won't be back tomorrow. I might see you on Monday. I'll see how I go. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going in life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. a year ago.